Happy New Year, folks. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. It's been a while since, I feel like it's been so long since I've stood or sat in front of the camera, especially playing this game, but we're finally back. It feels good to be back. Hope the audio's okay. You guys let me know if it's not. Just kind of trying to get settled in here. I'm actually running a little bit behind tonight, so at some point the missus is going to bring dinner in. I'll probably turn the camera off so you guys don't have to see me eat. That's how unprofessional and low-key we are here. We just eat on stream like it's no big deal. But the reason I'm doing this stream, and I don't know if this stream will last the full 3 hours. What's going on with my chat? There we go. Hey Atlas and Rasmus, good to see you as always. Happy New Year yourself. Glad you're here, sticking around another year. Yeah, so those of you that don't know, our very own Liquid Cat has been working very diligently in the CV64 Discord. I think I can create an invite to that. Let me do that. If you're not in there. Liquid Cat's been working on a randomizer for this game, trying to get a randomizer working, and I know that they'll be successful, and when they are, you better believe I'll be playing it on stream as soon as it releases. However, in the process of doing that, Liquid Cat discovered some neat stuff in the game that we're going to take a look at tonight, and we're just going to kind of play around with the Game Shark codes and the Project 64 debugger and see what we might figure out with this stuff. Who knows if we'll actually figure anything out. We might just end up playing some Tekken or something. But we are going to give it a shot and see what we can find out. So first off, this is just kind of a teaser here. Oh no, one credit clear, not happening tonight. They'll have to come watch me play Castlevania instead. I'm just messing around in the menu. So I didn't know about this until like a year or two ago, but Cornell and Collar, I thought they never started development on these two guys, but apparently they did. Let me turn my cursor back on. I'm going to need my cursor tonight. Capture cursor. Yeah, apparently, I just thought they were dead. Like, never started. They were just planned and never happened. But apparently they did some programming on them because they have a character slot in the game, right? And so you can make Cornell and Collar pop up here. We'll switch to Cornell right quick, just so you can see that. And yes, I have tried going to the slots beyond it. Nothing happens. It just puts a blank up there. But anyway, let's turn that code off. So I want to show you guys, this is probably the biggest thing that has been discovered beta-wise in CV64. And that is this wooden stake sub-weapon. And so we're going to play around with the stake and see if we can figure out anything that it will let us do. So let's go to, I got to figure out, I made a save state. Well, Liquid Cat made a save state. Let me see if I can get it to load. Okay, here it is. So let me pause right quick and explain what's going on. So what Liquid did is basically, in the process of trying to find a randomizer, they started looking at all the flags that choose what can basically drop from a candle, essentially. And so right now, this this save state I have has been hacked so that this candle drops a specific item. And so what I've done is I'm going to create a Game Shark code right quick that will allow us to very easily change what this is. So let me go back up and find the address here. I'm basically just converting an address into a Game Shark code. And I'm going to spell it stake subweapon. You guys can't see it, but I'm going to spell it stake as in like steak. We're going to add that. And I also have this list of item values in the game too, which we're also going to open up and I'll show you guys. So this is courtesy of Liquid Cat right here. Let me add this to our selection of windows that you can look at. expand this right quick. So basically this is the table of all the items that can drop from a candle or a drop. At least that's my understanding. And so a few of these items are things that are not used in the normal game. Some of them we knew about before, like this potpourri item here. We knew about that. And the only way we knew about it was there's a Game Shark code that who knows who made way back in the day, which puts all items into your inventory. And so this item is one of the ones that will be added by that code. Even though you can't get it in the normal game, the person, whoever made it, probably didn't know a lot about this game, and they were just some programmer at like Game Shark or Daytel or whatever, and they're like, oh, all items, let me make a code that puts all the items in the inventory. And so several of these unused ones make it in here. So the first one is the potpourri. And we can actually make this drop from a candle now, so we can pick it up and it will be added to the inventory normally. So that much is working. Here's the wooden stake, the stream namesake. This was the first one Liquid Cat posted in the Discord, and this just blew my mind because I assumed that this was gone. Like, this shows up in some very early screenshots, pre-development screenshots, and so I was like, okay, that never made it into the game, or it was just a mock-up or whatever. But no, it's still here, and there is a little bit of programming code left over for it. Unfortunately, the JPEG for your item menu is gone, but it does still work. And when you pick this item up, it does change your sub-weapon. The rose as well, this is another new item that we didn't know about until like a week ago. This also appears to be a sub-weapon, and we're going to see if we can make anything happen with these two. I doubt it, but we're going to try it. The contract... You can make this jewel that we're about to be staring at into the contract, and it works as intended. So it's basically just a contract drop. Engagement ring is one that we knew about already. It says in the Japanese version of the game, there's actually descriptive text for this, and it says that it increases Carrie's stats by 10% just by having it. So we may mess around with picking this up as Carrie or putting it in the inventory and see if we can make it so that it increases our stats. Maybe we'll do some damage testing or something. This next one is Incandescent Gaze. You can actually pick this up and have it added to the inventory. It says it highlights the player's focus for a fixed period of time, but I have no idea what that means or what they're trying to say. It sounds like English. What's interesting is some of these items have descriptions in one version, but not the other. Like they'll have a description in the Japanese version, but the American version, they didn't translate it. So we probably need to check out the European version as well to see if they actually changed anything for that. But anyway, just so you know, this is the list of items that we're going by. So let's turn the steak, and I did spell it like a steak you eat, not a steak you want. The contract, it's there, but it's really just a contractual obligation. I mean, kind of. The contract was supposed to work differently in the early releases. They changed it for release. But it's interesting to me that there are items in this game that are essentially normal items, but they coded them as item pickups, but because when you pick them up, they activate immediately. They don't go into your inventory, but they all have the ability to be put into your inventory. Hey Jaime, welcome back. Hope you're having a good night at work. You work night shift, right? I remember you telling me about the night shift. Anyway, sorry, that was dinner coming in, so I stopped to take a bite. But anyway, we've activated cheats here, and I don't think you can see the cheat menu when I open it, unfortunately. But I basically turned this drop into it should be a steak. Yeah, see, wooden steak. You have no idea how much that blew my mind to see that activated for the first time. And so you can't see it because the image was deleted by Konami, but our sub-weapon is now set as a stake. So what we need to do is go find some jewels. What are you doing, Carrie? We need to find some red jewels and see if we can activate it. Yeah, we've seen this cutscene. I did get Carrie to throw it earlier on my laptop. We'll see if we can get... You can't really see anything, but she does the throwing animation, so we'll see if we can get that here. This might be a good place to test the engagement ring item too. We can make ourselves pick that up and then test how many hits it takes to kill these skeletons here. Yeah, I'm going to expect a lot of puns out of you guys for stakes and contracts. It's always jarring to go back to vanilla CV64 and remember how powerful Carrie's bolt is in this version. It was nerfed for Legacy of Darkness because it's extremely strong. Like broken levels of extremely strong. And it also homes in on enemies, so I mean just look at that. Carrie's just clearing whole rooms with no cares in the world here. Yeah, there we go. All right, we have red jewels. Okay, so it uses one. We use one red jewel per stake. And it makes it's pretty much the same throw animation as when you use the knife. I think it's the same thing. So I'm actually going to pause so we can make a note. It's sad I'm going to have to make a spreadsheet for this game and like the beta information. But I tell you, I'm all about a good spreadsheet. It's a great way to capture information. So let's see, items, notes. And so we have wooden stake. I almost spelled it S-T-E-A-K because I'm a dummy. Let's see. Notes, sub-weapon. No picture. Uses one jewel. Throwing. There we go. So let's see what else. Let's go back to our save state. Let's see what else we can figure out. I'm going to turn it into a quick save as well. And if anybody in the chat has any suggestions or values or whatever they'd like to try, let me know, and we'll certainly. I've lost my items.txt file. I'm going to see if we can turn this into a selection sheet. It's going to make it a little quicker for us there. The thing with Project 64, it is so picky about the font that you put cheats in. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So now we can just select all these and change them at will. I'm interested to see if I can make an actual white jewel appear here. So let's go with the white jewel. So if this worked correctly, this red jewel should be a white jewel now. Yeah, it is. It works. Okay. Will you save up to this point? Yes. I'm interested to see now where that will actually put us at once we load that. That's going to make the randomizer more interesting too, I think. If you have to find white jewels to save. So that's interesting. It seems to think that we saved in the villa, even though we were nowhere near the villa. We just fell to our death. I need moon jump. Where's my moon jump at? Press L to levitate. Yeah, we've just been spawned in a void. I think it has no idea where to load us, so we're just in a void forever. We're up here in the skybox with the lightning JPEGs and the rain filter. As we just bounce along forever. I'm ascending. I'm coming to join you, Carrie's mom. Oh, there's something down there. I want to see if we can get low enough down there to see what that is. I assume it's just the normal map, but... Oh, well, that's because my real day job is like 90% spreadsheets. I have so many spreadsheets at work. And so naturally it carries over into my personal and gaming life too. Like when I play SMT Imagine, I have like a 7 or 8 tab spreadsheet that I play that game with. Oh, we made it to the ground, but... I can't move. This is the episode where Carrie gets trapped in the void, apparently. Okay. So I'm going to make a note here that the white jewel lets you save, spawns you in bad places. Just a note for future reference. Let's figure out what we're going to do next. So we got special 1, 2, roast beef, roast chicken, healing kit, purifying. Let's pick up a potpourri and just see what happens, just for the fun of it. Cures fossilization, aroma softens fossilized body. Fantastic. Rasmus says, let's be real, if you don't have at least 8 tabs on your helper spreadsheet, are you even playing SMT Imagine properly at all? No, I would say no. You gotta have, I'm gonna open that document right quick. So you gotta have one tab for each gear slot and each slot for that piece of gear, as well as the Tarot and Soulstone on it. That's one tab. You got to have one for what you currently have. You got to have one for doing full R8 and all the materials. You got to have one for your expertise. Here's a tab I can actually delete. We don't need that tab anymore. And then you got to have one for keeping track of your current XP boost. So yeah, you got to have all that stuff. I'm going to take another bite, and while I do that, I'm going to change myself to have stone status and see if we can make the potpourri do anything, but I doubt it. I was hoping this would give me a... I don't think we can cure this with anything else. You can see, I used the all items cheat, the old one I was telling you about. And you could see it tried to put a knife, like a sub-weapon knife in my inventory up above the scroll there. But I've never been able to figure out how to get that item actually into the menu. Let's see. And one tab for what you're looking at. Don't you forget that one. Yeah, you got to have the tab for the tab of what you're looking at. That one is essential. All right, we got a question from Mike935. Hey, bro, my English is not very good. Seems pretty good to me. But I have a question. In some images of the beta, there's a blue bar. Do you know what function it would have in game? So I believe the image you're talking about, I'll see if I can, because I actually have that image saved. Let me see if I can find it. If not, I think I know the one you're talking about. It's the one with Reinhardt, and he's like whipping vampires in the torture chamber or whatever. Yeah, here we go. Excuse me. That's from a very old screenshot, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up on screen just so everyone can see it here. There it is. Yeah. So this is the screenshot I believe he's referring to. There may be more, but to my knowledge, this is the only one that shows this bar up here. And so you can look. There's the image for the stake subweapon, by the way, the one we've been experimenting with. And you'll notice it says status bad. The game doesn't do that anymore. Your status only changes if you get an actual status effect versus just being low health. But anyway, there's the health bar, and then there's this bar here below it that says S. This blue bar here. So this game was originally supposed to have like RPG elements and things in it. So if I had to guess, this was going to be for some sort of stat system, and this was going to what was essentially be your mana bar or something. Probably for some special like magic power or something. Because if you look at the stake over here, you can see that Reinhardt has 99 red jewels. He has 99 ammo. So that tells me that this was going to have its own ammo count, the sub-weapons were. And this was something else. So if I had to guess, every character was probably supposed to have a special power. And an example of that would be Cornell in Legacy of Darkness. Cornell turns into a werewolf, and it just uses red jewels, which is kind of dumb because it takes all your sub-weapon ammo away. But my guess is originally every character was going to have some sort of special like additional power that could be activated. And Cornell's was, of course, turning into a werewolf, so he got this. They probably never did anything with this bar for other characters. And when the time came to make Legacy of Darkness, they just said, okay, Cornell, he can turn into a werewolf. Make it use red jewels, so that way we don't have to program this and finish this. That's my guess as to what happened. I think originally it was for some kind of magic system. Another reason I think that, and let me remove this window here. Not that window. Hold on. Let me get the window back. Whee! Yeah, that feel when streaming, being a professional streamer, and you accidentally kill the thing you were working on. I'm not sure if I should stretch this or just, let's see how it looks stretched. It's like wide Putin now, goodness. Anyway, so there's an item in here I wanted to show if I can find it. The reason, and then this has been a subject of controversy. So this item right here, the engagement ring, this has no description in the English version of the game. But let me go to the cuttingroomfloor.net because it's easier than trying to load this up. So the description for this is empty. They blanked it for the US version, but for some reason they added it to the Japanese version. Now it's important to remember that the Japanese version of CV64 came out after the American one. The American one released first. Castlevania has always been more popular in the West, so that makes sense that it would release here first. But they did add a description to this item that's only in the Japanese release. And once you translate it, it says, "A present from the Dark Lord. By holding it, raises carry stats by 10%. Now, there are no RPG-like stats in the final game, right? Like, there's no number that tells you, for example, how much health you have. The only numbers are your gold tally, which I don't know how else you would show, like you could have like 100% gold, and your red jewel count. But carry doesn't have stats. Like, there's a power-up that makes your bolt and whip stronger, but you don't know what that number is. It's never shown to the player. As far as the player knows, there's just 3 levels of power-up, which is like 0, 1, and 2, essentially. But this other item says that it raises carry's stats by 10%. Now, there was some disagreement between me and another guy in the comments of the Unseen 64 article I wrote in 2008. They were arguing that this was translated as like status. And I said it was stats. Who knows what it really is? I think either way, the 10% thing is a callback to the days when this game was going to have RPG elements and stuff like the bar that you were talking about. This is probably what this did. Like I said, we're going to test this engagement ring item later. And I may even do that on the Japanese version since there's no description here. And we want to give it the benefit of the doubt, right? I just wish that the money bag item wasn't taking the place. I wish they had left in the image of it, but unfortunately they did not. But anyway, that's a long way to answer your question, but that's, in my opinion, that's what that bar was for. It was like a special power that each character would use, probably like Cornell's werewolf transformation. Hey girls, not blue, it's been a while. When 64 and PS1 were big, all side-scrollers were making the 3D leap. Were you still into those games? I remember my friends the industry had an out with the old, in with the new attitude. My philosophy has always been I'll play any game if it's fun. I don't really care if it's 2D or 3D. I definitely had friends like that in school that were all about like 3D and, you got to have the best graphics, and I'm going to pick this console over this console because the graphics are so much better. Shout outs to Benny Blanco, who joined me for my podcast like years ago at this point. But he's one of those graphics guys, man. He's always about the cutting edge and the graphics. But I never was. I was more interested in a game being fun. Like, I can play this game to death and enjoy it, and then I can load up Symphony of the Night the next day and play it for, 2 or 3 hours. It doesn't matter. I just want the game to be fun. Like, I'll gladly play old JRPGs with sprites, and then I'll go load up Final Fantasy X too. I don't care. Just as long as it's fun. Anyway, let's... So, nothing doing with the stone status, unfortunately. The stone status is cured by ending the level. I do know that, but... never been able to get anything to do with that so far. Yeah, the bit wars were so stupid to me. Now, I could understand, like, if you're Nintendo and you've got the NES and you're going to release the Super Nintendo, like, it has to be better, right? Like that's when you go from 8 to 16-bit. But, I've never just been one to sit around and argue about, oh, Sega has 32 bits and this has 16 bits. Who cares? Just give me the fun games. You can have some fun games without as good of graphics. Anyway, we need to get back to our jewel here. I need to turn off my all items cheat. What do we got? Potpourri. We didn't get very far with that. We'll make a note of it at least. Dang it, Rasmus, you got me talking about that other spreadsheet, and now I've got my spreadsheets mixed up. Anyway. It would be interesting to try out the stone status on the villa stage, since there are enemies that can, like, stone you there, and there's, like, flowers because there's a maze garden. Maybe something would happen. I don't know. Potpourri does nothing, doesn't fix stone status. What I would really like to do is develop a code which makes it so that you can always use any menu item. So that way we could attempt to force the game to let us use some of these items and just see if anything happens. Because most of the things that are graphical and music related have already been discovered. If we're going to start finding new stuff in this game, it's going to be like in the code, I think, unfortunately. There's some more sub-weapons here. At the end of the sub-weapon is the rose item, so we'll check the rose out and just see what happens. And so, see, that one gives us a graphical screw-up there in the... And so this is why I think this was a sub-weapon, because if I pick this knife up, it replaces the rose up there. But let's just say we keep our rose here. In this version of the game, you can also melee enemies with a bolt in hand and it will hit them. Because Konami. Truly programming geniuses of their day. That satisfying crackle effect. Where are you going? I was going to make espresso. Yeah, if one of you guys could drop a... It's interesting to note on both starts with this save state, I've got power-up drops there. I'm really looking forward to this randomizer when it comes out and is a thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. It'd be really cool if we could make like a beta restoration version of it too that did like shuffled stuff like the engagement ring and the incandescent gaze into the items, and we made those items do stuff. That would be neat. Like, what if the engagement ring made it so that your power-up was always at least level 2? That would be neat. Alright, we got red jewels. Let's find some skeletons and see if this does anything. Or we could just destroy both of them with a bolt. We could do that. Okay, so the rose actually uses 3. So obviously it was going to be a little bit more powerful. Maybe you could just be like Tuxedo Mask and throw a rose and just like GTFO the level and not do anything. Like the real Tuxedo Mask. Always running from a real fight. That was a pitiful exchange on my part. Wait, I have Game Shark codes. I'm an idiot. Why am I grinding for jewels when I could just give myself red jewels? Yeah, there we go. So, yeah. The rose was obviously a sub-weapon. And it was going to use 3. Also, using it seems to bork your melee attack. Like, notice Carrie's hands don't have rings. Ever since we used this. But I bet if we used another sub-weapon, it would fix it. I don't know what's up with that. Oh, we crashed. Yeah, the game didn't like that. So anyway, let's go back to our spreadsheet item. We've got rose, sub-weapon, no picture, uses 3. Wonderful. We got some more comments here I got to read through. Is there beta content in Legacy of Darkness? That game hasn't been touched as much as this one. I would assume most of the beta stuff was overwritten. Like your item menu and stuff, that's just going to be overwritten with Legacy of Darkness keys and that kind of stuff. There is one thing that I know of for sure, and that's in the villa level as Cornell. When you go into the archives, there's no reason to go in there, but if you go in there, there's a book on the table that's Master Oldry's journal. You can actually make that appear in the inventory, but you can't take it with you in the final game. So that's the only thing I know about in there. Now, could there be something to screw around with and find something? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't touched it very much. Everybody just assumes that CV64 has the most unused content. The beginning of the battle theme would have scared the crap out of me as a kid. What battle theme is that? Liquid Cat says, it's definitely a sub-weapon. The ID on the current sub-weapon address updates to 5 or 6 for the stake or the rose, respectively, whereas 1 through 4 are the main ones. 0 is no sub-weapon. Thanks, Liquid Cat. Appreciate the update. And also thanks to Project 64. Yeah, shout-outs to the PJ64 team for that freeze. Is there a collar model hidden in the game? Yesn't. So let's go. I'm glad you asked. Let's give ourselves infinite energy, throwing weapons, red jewels. What's max power up? Let's set our sub weapon to. What do we want our sub weapon to be? I probably don't have a sub weapon selector on this. It's fine. And yeah, let's go to L plus Z for level select. Yeah, let's go here. So I have ripped, I used Rice video plugin to rip all the textures from this game. And admittedly, I'm not the best at it. But I basically ripped all the textures and then like peeked through all of them to see if I could find anything at all that appeared to be unused. I didn't see anything. But I also don't remember seeing Cornell or collar textures, period. So I probably just didn't know what I was doing. But we're going to take a trip to the hedge maze here so I can show you guys something. Try trying 7 or higher, lots of weirdness. You talking about for the sub-weapon count, Liquid? Liquid! Yeah, I wonder though, like, maybe just like setting those makes it use random jewel amounts. I don't know. You would think that the stake sub-weapon would use a lot more than one, because if it allows you to kill vampires. It could be the case that it was going to function just like the knife, and they just in the end decided to change it to the regular knife. Because they were trying to do like originality type stuff for this. I'm not aware of a garlic one. There may be a screenshot or some hint to that out there somewhere, but I'm not aware of it. Let's find our buddy Chainsaw Frank, his music box likes to call him. I don't know why I didn't just activate the Malice cutscene. That would have been the quickest way. I heard him. We zoomed by him because there he is. Okay. Whoa there. Yeah, so let me show you guys a thing here. Alright, let's get him good and dead. Alright, you see that texture there on that chainsaw? Oh gosh, he's awake. We should have done the boss fight version. Anyway, you guys can see that chainsaw texture, right? Let me pause the game here. Pause, what, F2? Alright, so the game's frozen, so he's not going to get up. Now let me go and find you Collar, a pre-release screenshot of Mr. Collar. I hate this. What's the deal now, like when you go on Google Images and you try to save stuff and it gives you that stupid WebM? I'm ignorant of why it does that, but it makes me angry. It really rustles my jimmies when it does that. So you guys want to know about Collar. All right, take a look. All right, you guys see Chainsaw Frank down there? Shout outs to Music Box. Take a look at this. So look at his arm there, and then look at his arm in the pre-release render or whatever. You see that? You see the similarities, right? Like that is the same chainsaw, right? Like that is Collar's chainsaw. There's like no doubt. It's the exact same thing. The design is the same. The only difference is there's no blood on the blade like there is here. But I mean, you can just see like the mechanism here. It's the same thing. There's the little gold part at the back. It's here. It's kind of square. That's the same gun model, give or take a few differences that Henry uses in Legacy of Darkness. Yeah, this is his model. Now, you'll notice that Chainsaw Frank here, he looks a lot different than Collar. Like he's not wearing a hat. He doesn't have a coat, even though his coat is the same color as these pants. Maybe that's what Collar's arm texture looked like. He does have gloves on, which Collar does seem to have gloves. So when you talk about is Collar's texture in the game, yes, the chainsaw part definitely is. Like I have no doubt that is. Let me get this image off the screen. that this is his old chainsaw texture. Like, it just is. But I don't know about this part. The head, definitely not. I think they just, when they realized that collar wasn't going to work, they made that generic Frankenstein head and slapped it over him. But somebody with the right skills could very easily hack that back into the game. And there are character slots for Cornell and Collar, so if someone really knew what they were doing, they could make a new character and program all the data, and it would be a mess, but it could be done probably. Right, so as far as becoming playable, it would be a lot of work, but there is a slot for him. So I would say if somebody knew what they were doing, yes. I mean, you can make yourself play as Collar. I think if you came in late, you missed this. I'll do it again just in case. Where is my switch from code? So yeah, you wanna play as Collar? Okay, we're Collar. Here you go. We're him. And this makes some funny stuff happen with your model, presumably because it's trying to load the wrong animation. And I don't know enough about all the stuffs to know if it's trying to load Collar's animation, therefore it's in the game somewhere, or if it just points to junk data because it's been removed. I don't know. I think my collision data is gone. Oh yeah, it froze because it has no idea what to do or what to call up. But yeah, I definitely think that the slot is there, the ability is there. The right person knew what to do, they can make it happen. And you could probably just go and look at like Legacy of Darkness as a template, right? And drag in, like if you had Henry's gameplay, but you replaced his sword with a chainsaw arm, that would probably be Collar, to be honest. That would probably be him. And yeah. I showed this one too, but since I think you missed it, I'll show it again. Cornell is also in there as well. So yeah, Cornell is here. And when you try to move with Cornell, you get this sound. I don't know. That's the first note of the boss theme, and it's basically playing it as if it were a sound effect every time you take a step. So probably Cornell's like stepping sound is pointing to wherever the boss fight theme is now. But again, I think now we just lost sound entirely. It completely gave up. But I do think that the infrastructure is probably there, especially because there's Legacy of Darkness. You could look and see how they did it, and you could make this game do it. That is my dream, for somebody to hack Cornell and Collar into this version of the game. But it would be a lot of work. Not as much as Ocarina of Time, at least as far as I know. Ocarina of Time is much more popular, so hundreds and thousands of people have dug through it and literally decompiled the game. Nobody has done that for this game. And play the Mortal Kombat song with the opening note. I mean, it's kind of like that, right? Anyway, let's not be Collar or Corlar anymore, as some early things call him. Let's go back to being Carrie. And see, the discouraging thing is that there's no picture for Cornell and Collar. You would think there would be like some at least debug or beta picture up here, but there's not. Sorry about that. Went to take one last bite of dinner. Anyway, let's continue on with our exploration. Oh yeah, I want to show you guys this. So this is what happens if you make the contract into a drop item. I think so too, Mike. It's extremely interesting. I wish I knew more about hacking and programming and assembly so I could dig into it further. But unfortunately, I'm kind of limited by my limited Game Shark knowledge. We can give ourselves infinite money so that we can buy a healing kit. Okay, so we've given ourselves stone status. And we can actually, we cannot be cured even though we have a healing kit. So this status is so old, the game doesn't even recognize it as something that can be cured. Although I guarantee you if we leave the level, it will cure it. Here, we'll just float our way to the end game here. Yeah, watch this. Oh, ending the level actually did not cure it. And I assume it will cure fall damage. Let's see. I just want to take some damage. Can something please hurt me? There we go. Thank you. Hurt me, Daddy. Okay. Yeah, see, it cures that, but it won't cure the stone status. So that stone status is probably very old, if I had to guess. That was probably something they toyed with and just never did much with it. Ow. Alright, let's try one more time, see if it will heal it. Oh, it did heal it. So if you have stone status and you've taken damage, it heals you. But if you don't have damage, it won't. So does that work that way with vampire status? Like if we're a vampire? Oh yeah, so that's like a bug. That's like a Castlevania 64 stupidity thing there. I didn't actually know about that bug. But I think that's fixed in Legacy, probably. Let's see. Yeah, see, it tried to heal me. It just didn't because I forgot to turn the code off. Here, let's turn it off. So in order to be healed to full health between levels, you have to have damage taken. Oh, come on. Carrie's being a dingus and refusing to move in midair, so we gotta go all the way up top. You're breaking my heart here, Carrie. Yeah, unfortunately this game was not meant to levitate, so sometimes you get stuck and you can't move if you're not already in motion when you jump. Here, take damage. Yeah, so take note all you speedrunners out there. If you want your status cured, you had to have health damage. Of course, I don't really know a situation in which you would manage to change your status but not have taken damage in some way. So Rasmus says, so since we brought it up, when's the next SMT Imagine guide video? Rasmus, I didn't know you played SMT Imagine. I mean, I can sure put one out if you're just a hankering for one. You know, I give the people what they want. Elijah E says, are you playing this on N64? I'm actually using Project 64 right now because it's just easier to swap out all the Game Shark codes and stuff. I actually have this game for my N64 sitting across the room over here. but it's just much easier to run it through Project 64 because I can mess with the cheats and stuff and reset. If you're doing it on console, you're going to freeze the game a lot, and so that's bad because then you have to reset everything, enter the codes again, reset. Just much easier. Rasmus says, I just like hearing about weird things. Well, hey, I understand it. I love a good in-depth video about something, even if it's something I'm not doing. It's just kind of neat to, I don't know, knowledge. Yeah, knowledge. SMT Imagine is has the most systems of any MMO I've ever played. Like, you look at SMT Imagine versus something like Guild Wars 2, there's just no comparison as far as complexity. It's insanely stupid how complex that game is. Let's continue messing around with items. And if you guys out there, we got a lot of viewers tonight, so I appreciate the support. Anybody who has questions or wants me to try something or has a suggestion, please, by all means, drop it in the chat. We'll see if we can make it happen. So the next thing is that pesky old engagement ring. So let's see, this should be engagement ring, yeah. So let's do some testing here. Why don't we go, let's go back to Execution Tower, and you'll see what I'm doing in a second. So let me get some text on screen here. All right. So let's take a hit from one of these things on purpose. Not 2 hits, Carrie. I'm trying to do this with one hand. That's why. Here, let me use both hands this time. So per the Japanese version, the engagement ring increases Carrie's status by 10%, whatever that means. Let's take damage from this. Alright, we took some damage. It brought our health to... It removed yay amount of health. So just like a tiny sliver anyway. So let's reload. Now we've got the engagement ring. Let's go back to the execution tower. Now we didn't take that much damage anyway. Where's my engagement ring? I'll take my wedding ring away. Oh, this is stupid. Alright, we're gonna have to test it another way. So let's go and get whacked by one of the skeletons or something. Alright, so that did just a smidgen of damage. Let's pick up the engagement ring. After I finish flying around. Yeah, as far as I can tell, that did not take away less health. Programming was probably never added for this thing. We'll do it again just to be sure. Here, whack me. Yeah. Appears to be no change. Let's try Carrie's bolt and just see what happens here. So one fully charged bolt will... Ouch. Was enough to kill 2 skeletons. Let's put the engagement ring in our inventory. I don't know why I keep walking back to the beginning of the game. It killed 2 skeletons, just about like last time. No real change there. Let's Making sure it actually, yeah, it's still in our inventory. Just says we can't use it. Nothing really happens. I would assume the time of the day doesn't have anything to do with it, unfortunately. We should put it to the test versus Magical Nitro and see if that helps, but I doubt it. Oh, I'm missing comments again. Castlevania Legacy of Dingus. You sound like Music Box. I was wondering how you put the cheats on Project 64. I've been wanting to try this myself. So I think cheats are enabled by default. If you go to the System menu in Project 64 and hit Cheats, there should be a little bar on the side. I'm using 2.3.2.202, maybe different in 1.6, and you would just type your name and type your GameShark code there and hit New Cheat. You do have to enable advanced settings to let you do that because the people behind Project 64 hate you. But to do that, just go to Options, Setting, and make sure Hide Advanced Settings is unchecked because you're an advanced user. You got to get it again. You loaded the state. Yeah, well, I'm actually using the level select code. That's not a state load. That's a level select, and apparently that that resets your item menu. I didn't realize it did that, but it does. No, I don't want to turn cabaret browsing on. Yeah, here we go. Jaime says, I'm on stone status myself most of the time. It sounds like a personal problem. But with your job, I don't know that I blame you, man. Not one bit at all. Try it on the Were Tiger. He has a normal health bar. Now there's an idea. Go, go, carry Ranger. Do, 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 do. Go, go, carry Ranger. I gotta remember where that Were Tiger boss fight is. I think it's over here. Yeah, you're right. It's right here. Alright, so we have no engagement ring. Let me take that stupid here text away for now. Will you die? Whoops, I should have said pass away. Now I'm in trouble. Alright, so we got a level 1 orb. We're just going to go and activate this. Let's fully charge a bolt. Let's kill the skeleton. So it takes, what? I realize I'm not being very scientific because that bolt hit the skeleton. But it took about 3 shots to do that. Let's go back. What? Why is there a red triangle floating around out here? Or is that like a bat? He gone. Alright, let's get our engagement ring. It is hyper cool to be able to see these items officially picked up though. That's so cool. It also needs to be tested on the Japanese version too. In the off chance that like they were going to add the engagement ring to that version to make it easier. Or something like that. Really, are we really going to have to do all this? I'm not going to pick up the power up. It looks kind of like the bats, to be honest, but I don't know what that is. It does seem that we did it twice and we saw it both times, so it seems like it just stays floating out there. We would have to explore out of bounds and see if there's any more of them. See how the bat's wings are red? I assume it might be like a preloaded bat for somewhere. It should not be this hard to kill those bats. Okay. Alright, let me make sure. Yeah, we got the engagement ring. And again, the Japanese version says just by having it, Carrie's status is increased. Oof! Oh, I thought he had frozen there for a second. If anything, I'm doing less damage now that I have the engagement ring. If there's a difference there, it's negligible. We'd have to screw around with the damage tables and see, but I don't think there's anything happening there. Since Carrie is the Fernandez, maybe she was supposed to level up more or something with her magic, and that just made her magic stronger. Who knows? Yeah, but you guys seem to be interested in that out of bounds object, so let's go check that out. Let's see. Seems like it's over here somewhere. Yeah, dang sure is. It's straight up a red arrow. Oh, it's got collision. No, Carrie, no, go back. I hate the way moon jump works in this. I want to say it has collision. We can stand on it. Let's... Slow down, Carrie. Slow down. It's like trying to bullseye womp rats in my T16 back at Beggar's Canyon. Oh yeah, it's got collision. The problem is when you touch it, it stops your momentum and then I can't move. Let's see, it's over here somewhere. Let me move a little slower this time. I did it, guys. I discovered the first ever out-of-bounds object in Castlevania 64. Truly, I'm a legend of my time. Yeah, like, I don't know what this is doing out here, but... It definitely has collision. I assume you can stand on it, but it's going to be very difficult to do so. Fun fact, you can stand on the red triangle and it has a ground sound effect. Oh, did you find that red triangle, Atlas? This is the first time I'm finding out about it. See, I think it's... See, maybe we can spot it and then we can... Yeah, there it is. I need to load up the console, and I'm sure it's there, but I just want to make sure that it's there on console too. Jazz hands, Carrie. Okay. Yeah, getting to that thing is going to be hard with this. If it was like The Legend of Zelda's moon jump, we could do it. Ah, there's 3 of them on the level. You should go add that to the cutting room floors page. They would find that very interesting. The moon jump situation for Legacy of Darkness is kind of a nightmare. So we won't be able to try that one. Oh, we had it. Carrie, what is this camera doing? Oh, there's another one. Yeah, there's one over there too. I just spotted it briefly. So strange that they would just leave them sitting out there in the void, though. Truly, we're living in the CV64 beta finding Renaissance days. This moon jump, man, it has no idea what it's doing. It's completely momentum based. Jazz hands. Oh, there's the bats. Ow. It just knocked me into the kill plane. That was that. Another one is on the left side of the first boss fight. We took a stand on the subject. Not one of your strongest ones, Rasmus, but I'll allow it. Here, let's get up here and look. Maybe we can spot one. When you say the first boss, are you talking about Bone Mom at the end of the level or right here? Because I don't see it. We can go chill out in the canyon. Whoa. The problem is when you jump over that that shrubbery there, you hit an incline, so your momentum just goes like, hey, we did it. Okay. I'm sure this is pointing in the direction of the unlock collar code. Let's see. I mean, it definitely looks like some sort of like this way moron arrow, but I mean, they're all just kind of floating out here in the void. Definitely has a grass sound effect. But it makes you wonder why it has collision. If it's just a, hey, go this way, idiot thing, you would think you'd want that to have no collision. Can't seem to grab onto it. Very interesting. And I have to make an entry in the spreadsheet. Oh, we need a new tab because the first tab was items, so now we need like a map finds. Are there any other levels that have those, or have you looked? Multiple arrows floating in distance. Have collision, all out of bounds. Discovered by Atlas Moon. You found the triangle emoji. We found the crazy taxi arrow on vacation. Honestly, no, but I haven't checked hard either. Interesting. All right, let's go. So unfortunately, nothing seems to have happened with the engagement ring at least in this version. We may try the Japanese version for the night's over just to make sure, but I doubt anything will happen. But we'll see. Alright. Let's see if we explode. What? No explosion? That's no fun. Is it even really magical nitro if you don't explode? It's the little boozy magical nitro you use to set it off. Apparently the blow up or not flag is set separately other than just having it in your inventory, because this doesn't kill me. See, I can jump freely and it's not hurting me. You could try taking damage, but I doubt it will kill me. Yeah, good call out, Liquid. I figured there was. Yeah, you won't explode. Good to know. Fascinating. What else we got? Mandragora is pretty uninteresting. Sun and Moon card. Incandescent Gaze is a really interesting one. I don't know what this item is. Liquid Cat, did you have any luck with controlling the model that drops from the candle? So that would be one interesting thing to look at for some of these beta and other items, is if we could get them to drop their appropriate model. But then again, I think that's probably the whole basis of your randomizer project anyway. It would probably be just a red money bag if we could do it. Highlights players focus for a fixed period. Like, what in the world does that mean? Like, I can only assume this is like... Surely it's not talking about the game's targeting system. Maybe it's like, you know, we talked earlier about characters having special powers. Maybe Reinhardt's was like he heightened his focus for a period of time and could do more damage or something like that. We need an item always usable code to use it and see if it would do anything. Because I don't know any other way to test it other than just like doing literally anything and everything and seeing if it becomes usable. But I don't really know what to do with the Incandescent Gaze. And I believe the Japanese version, it's literally Incandescent Gaze. So, I mean, it's not like it's some mistranslation or anything like that. Some kind of power boost. Liquid Cat says, nope, no matter what I tried, that's going to have to wait until I can completely change what drops from the start. Well, if anybody can figure it out, you can, because you've done more in your 2 or 3 weeks than I've done in my 20 years playing this game. So, Rasmus says, clearly it's highlighting our focus on it. Once again, not your best, Rasmus, but I'll allow it. Atlas thinks it'd be really cool if Carrie had multiple projectiles. And you know, early screenshots show her doing that. Like she's fighting, I think it's Camilla, and she like uses her powers and like the tiles come up like Dragon Ball Z characters powering up, and she throws them at Camilla. So I mean, it's possible they were going to do something like that. But Incandescent Gaze, I'm going to look up incandescent. I think I know what that means, but meaning. Incandescent, emitting light as a result of being heated, full of strong emotion, or passionate. Yeah, so it's literally just like a strong gaze or something like that. I guess maybe your eyes would glow. I don't know. And then we start getting into keys and money bags and Cure Ampule, roast beef, jewels, sun card, moon card. 43 is a bunch of junk, I believe. Yeah, see, I set it to 43 and it doesn't even work. The jewel's not even spinning anymore. Put it as a moon card, it starts spinning again, but Don't really know. I guess we could try just something crazy like 40, just go up to 50. But most of this is probably junk data at this point. Add new cheat. Yeah, let's just try 50. Doubt it's going to do anything. Yeah, all of these past that just seem to freeze the item in place. You can't really do anything with it. A sexy gaze, yeah. You better watch it with that, because Carrie's like 12 years old, so I don't think she needs to be picking up the incandescent gaze. We get a nice look at the jewel model, at least. There's like at least 15 triangles on that thing. Good job, Konami. Yeah, so that's pretty much all of our choices as far as that. Here we can swap over to Akumajao Dracula Moku Shiroku. And give ourselves the engagement ring and all the other fun stuff. That's a good point. They may very well have done that. Yeah, they absolutely can, Mike, because you can, I mean, you can just use a GameShark code to load them into your inventory directly. But the interesting thing to me was being able to pick them up off the ground, because there are some items in this game, like for example the nitro that doesn't set a flag unless you pick it up.
In the mid-19th century, the province of Wallachia. In this time of peace and plenty, no one foresees the return of ancient horrors, but the old legends live.
Courage.
Don't leave me. Let's see. Oh, I guess we should have been Carrie. Oops. Here, let's go back. Whatever awaits. I have no regrets. Okay. So let's see. We got roast chicken. Here's the power up, by the way. It can be found in the menu. The contract. This description was actually in the English version, and it basically has to do with a point system. Power up. Ige Jujitsu. Oh yeah, here it is. That's it. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have Liquid Cat's code for the Japanese version, so we'll just have to put it in the... Yeah, Engage Ring. That's what that says. And so you can see this essentially says a present from the devil just by having it in the inventory. In this part here, that's Carrie's name in katakana. Keri no something sudatsu ga 10% up shimasu. Keri no... Where's my... I should know that kanji, but I don't. Let me see if I can get ye old Google to help me out. I just need the one kanji. Let's see. It's translating literally everything but the one I want it to. Time to go to reliablegshow.org, unless any of you guys know kanji. Okay, that's just as I suspected. Zen. It's this kanji. So, Kieri no Zen sutatasu ga 10% up shimasu. So literally, carries all status goes up by 10%. Whatever the heck that means. This is motteiru dake de. That's literally like by having it, I believe. Just by holding. I know motteru is like to possess or to hold. Motteru. Yeah, see this part here. And if you're watching this later on, you can check the chat replay, and I'm putting these things in here. So it's like just by holding it, carries all status is up by 10%. And this is pretty, I believe that's Dracula. That's like Satan or Dark Lord, because that's a symbol for king. I believe that's evil. That's like mono, present. Don't remember how to pronounce those kanji, but I remember kind of what they mean. And of course we can't use it, so. But we'll go and attack Tiger Man in just a second and see if anything different happens. I really doubt it. Got our specials here. We might as well check and see if the red arrow is still out there in this version. Yeah, I can speak conversational Japanese, but reading and writing it is not my strong suit. Because I just don't use kanji. You know, I haven't used kanji in my day-to-day life in 10 years. Occasionally, I still get the opportunity to speak with a Japanese person. But that's all spoken. And like whenever I'm typing kanji and katakana and hiragana, the computer's doing it for me. I'm just putting in the hiragana and like, oh yeah, I recognize that kanji. That's the right one. But if you ask me to recall it, no thanks. Yeah, our friends the Red Arrows are still there. Yeah, you need to go make an entry on the cutting room floor page for this game, Atlas, so that we can document that. But anyway, we have the engagement ring. Let's take a hit from ye old skeleton. It's about the same, I believe. Whoa, easy, Sonic. That was my impression at the beginning of the Green Hill Zone music. Sorry for subjecting you all to that. I'm making it daytime since it was daytime in the other attempt. Because enemies have less health during the day, so. That did seem to do a lot of damage. I don't know if it's necessarily more. What did we say the first time? We killed him in about 3 hits, and so it was about the same. And give me all the power-ups. The thing is, I don't know when you would have gotten this item, because in the final game, that's the bad ending of the game when Carrie gets engaged to Malice. So that was obviously a story beat they were working on long term there. Maybe in the final game, Carrie was already engaged or something, or the like Dracula or Malice gives her the engagement ring. Who knows? Oof. I tried looking up, what's her name? Bianca Allen that voiced Carrie Fernandez? Just to see if she wanted to come and talk about voice acting for this, but could never get a hold of her. Whoa, no, no. Okay, we died. I would agree with that, Liquid Cat. They probably did, considering her name was Carrie Easterfield at one point, which is 100% cooler. But I understand why they wanted to make her a Belnades. Apparently there's a bugs page now. Oh, but it only has one thing on it. You could have just said that Carrie tried to pawn it off after she killed Dracula, but the best the guy could do was $50. Yeah, shout outs to the cutting room floor. That's where you catalog like beta and unused content in games. If you've never been down that rabbit hole, it's super interesting. Go look up your favorite game and see what they got to tell you about it. This game has one. I'll also, just to pat myself on the back here, I wrote 90% of that page for Daraku Tenchi, by the way. And even though Carrie's 12, even she recognizes that that's a GameStop level trade. She probably would, honestly. I don't know what it is with Castlevania and these really young protagonists. Like Marie Renard, I think, is like 12 in Rondo of Blood. Like Carrie was obviously supposed to be just like Maria Renard too. I mean, that was what they were going for. Hey, good news. Collar's thing is still here, but I don't think we can do anything. I'm just trying this out in the Japanese version to see what happens. Oh, look at Carrie spazzing out. Carrie, are you okay? You don't look so good. I'm sorry, John. That's certainly something. Sub-attack animation still works. Looks like I'm doing crooked cartridge on Ocarina of Time. We can still do our tiny walk. Interesting to note that Cornell is the fourth one in sequence instead of Collar there. So let's go back to the US version. I wanted to mess around with that Cornell and Collar thing and see if we could get those guys to show up in the menu. I don't think we can, but we're going to try. And I may even use the Save Anywhere code to do it. Because thanks to our pal Liquid Cat, we now have... Alright, so let's set this to a white jewel. Okay, that's now a white jewel. Let's not save just yet, though. And now let's change ourselves into Collar. Since he's my favorite. Cornell's cool, but we eventually got to play as Cornell. We never got to play as Collar. Okay, so now the game thinks we are Collar. Let's save the game. Yes. Data saved. We'll turn the cheat off. Let's reset. And again, it still thinks we're carry. But I bet when we try to load this, the file's probably going to crash. Let's see. Yeah, see, the game crashes because it's trying to load, I would assume, Cornell or Collar or data that's not there, unfortunately. It's such a shame we can't even get that to load. That's not a good sign. Again, shout outs to anybody out there with the know-how to look at this and see what's going on and try to make it work, but it's going to take some legwork. Cornell, we'll just try it for kicks and grins, as my old boss used to say years ago. Even though that's probably going to be the same result, it's not going to load. Liquid Cat says, boom! Ah. I do find it interesting that it changed the save file's name to Reinhardt that time. So yeah, we're Cornell. We're not Reinhardt. Let's do it one more time to see. Just doing a soft reset, nothing special. Yeah, it's the same save point, but it thinks we're Reinhardt. Could the level select code save me from this void? Let's see. Oh yeah. Let's see. Give me the clock tower. So the game is not really like hard frozen. It's just kind of like a soft lock, almost like it's just trying to load Cornell and Collar, but it can't. You'd need somebody to look into the data and see what's going on in there. But I can straight up go to all these levels. It's just kind of hanging when it tries to load the map here. Release the beta version of the ROM, you cowards. Yeah, that's not gonna work, unfortunately, and we probably gimped our file there by doing that. Let's just go back to being carry. You guys remember that old screenshot of the game where, let me see, it was of the character select screen. So let me find it and pull it up just for reference. While we listen to the beautiful violin music in the background. Please don't copyright strike me, Konami. Yeah, here it is. You guys remember this screenshot? This has got to be pretty old. I would hope that there's still a ROM of this somewhere that will leak one day. I don't know what would have actually happened if you tried to select those two guys. It might have just said like not available in demo or something. Yeah, I know, and Super Castlevania 4 is a good game, don't get me wrong, but I don't find its development near as interesting as this one. Like, this one's just fascinating, the development hell that this went through. And the ambition that this game had with it. I always forget you don't get the option to delete in Vanilla 64. I'm so used to playing Legacy. So I want you to pay attention to where those guys are. Oh, it's because I'm in delete mode. Let me go back to game start. Normal. Alright, let's see if we can't. And Project 64's memory debugger crashes a lot, so... I would assume Reinhardt would be 0 and Carrie will be 1. There's going to be tons of zeros, so let's start with 1. Let's search. Watch as my RAM's PC, or my PC's RAM sticks burst into flames as it searches. Alright, now let's go change to Reinhardt, swap over to 0. Search. Might be better to do this in Cheat Engine because Peach 64 search is kind of fragile. It breaks very easy. Yeah, but I'm also looking at the, there we go, 0. Go back to Reinhardt. Reinhardt Schneider. There we go. That's not the value we're looking for. There it is. Alright, so there's the memory offsets for the character select screen. So there's 2 of them that are changing. There's what? 001F, 70F, B00, and 001F, OB, also 00. Let's make a fancy spancy save state of this. Save state, character select. So we'll call this select screen jam. Oh, I hate this thing so much. Okay. Project 64's cheat adding system is not the most generous. Alright, so now I've locked the character select at 0. Let's see what happens.
Transylvania.
Nothing that time. Let me move this back to the front. I just realized. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, I completely forgot. I don't even remember setting up a window for Notepad, so I don't know how that got up there. But yeah, nothing happened, unfortunately. Review. So what I'm trying to do is, if you mess with this, you can get it to show you Cornell and Collar's old position. So that's what I'm trying to get it to do. I'm actually going to do this in Cheat Engine because it's just a lot friendlier. Alright, here we go. Next scan. Look at my 3 addresses here. Alright, that's what I expect to see.
Transylvania in the
mid-19th century. We're going to hear that a whole lot today. Oh no. Come back. I was going to make espresso. Yeah, Project 64 did not like that, so we're going to have to kill it with the task manager, unfortunately. Yeah, in the past, what I've been able to do is if you get it to select a different value, it will actually line up with the screenshot of where Cornell and Collar are on the character select screen in the beta screenshot. Like a cat says, Magical Nitro, because we just got Magical Nitro'd on the file select screen. I need to make a save state here. Yeah, let's try it again. Maybe it won't crash this time. Where are you at? Project 64. Let's add 5 or 6 values this time. We're looking for something static. I think that's our man right there. Oh yeah, we're definitely screwing around in the right place now. Messing with some select screen graphics here. Let me just lock. I've got about 5 or 6 different values here that I'm trying to figure out which one is the one. So I'm just going to screw around with all of them until we figure out which it is.
Transylvania.
Even if we have to be peasants and use the changed or not, that's what we'll do if we have to find it. Let's do a new scan. Unknown initial value. Changed value. Go over to carry. Give me an unchanged. Increased value. Increased by 1. And there we go. Let's delete all this crap. Okay, I hate it when it does this, but the value for the selection is 9633792. That's kind of long, but okay. With 93 being Carrie and 92 being our best boy Reinhardt here. So let's make a save state of this. I don't know if this is going to give us what we need or not, but we're certainly going to try it. So this is 93 for her, 92 for him. So let's lock the value at 93. Okay, yeah, it worked. So did you see how, even though we have Reinhardt selected, it selects Carrie? And that's because the value that says what character selected has been frozen. So what I'm going to do now, since we know Carrie is 93, we're going to select 94 as our value and see what... Oh yeah, you see what the cursor did? It moved down here. And the game also crashed. So let's do 95. It's probably going to be the other corner. Let's see. It's just down there. So 92 is Reinhardt. Reinhardt Snyder. Let's see what 91 is. Same thing. It's just moving it down there and crashing. I have gotten it to go over here to the left side before, but I don't remember how I did it. Yeah, I see. Interestingly enough, 56 works without crashing.
Transylvania.
That's just regular old Reinhardt. Unlock it. I wonder if we change to Let's change it to 93 right after we select it and see what happens. So we'll pick Reinhardt. Alright, I move the value up 1. We'll see what happens when it loads. Probably nothing.
Transylvania in the mid-19th.
What would you do if the camera panned over and we were playing as like Collar? It just gave us Reinhardt.
Courage. Don't leave me.
Let's check our menu. Yeah, that's just best boy Reinhardt. Nothing fancy pants here, unfortunately. That we can screw around with. Oh, I forgot to set my game. Yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, and the address is not the same anymore, so unfortunately we can't save it and see if there's any change, but I doubt there would be. Yeah, so that's kind of where we are with it. With the state of Cornell and Collar at the moment, I'm not really sure where else we could go with those guys other than just like... I guess I could open up the memory debugger and just like look around. Here, let's go back to our save state. View. Search. Is there any way that that could be made permanent, or will it always just be a Cheat Engine was actually able to change the virtual address and find the same one, at least for this, what I'm doing here. Did this crash the game? I swear this is so useless. What's up, Demon Flip? Long time no see. How you been? Thought it crashed the game, but P64's memory search is just so... Like, I can hear the fan in my graphics or my computer tower rather click on when I use it because it slows down so much. And then it just completely does not know what to do. That's great. Reset. Happy New Year, Demon Flip, to you as well. We're just sitting here waiting on Project 64 to unfreeze because it's so slow. Thought maybe if I got rid of Cheat Engine it would help, but no. I'm actually using 2.3.2.202 for this. It's just because 1.6 doesn't have this debugger function here. Which we kind of need, unfortunately, to do what we're doing here. Yeah, see, like it's just crashed again. You can't even search this without it just crashing, which is unfortunate because I really need to look at those values in memory. Oh, there we go. Whose idea was it to make it pause the game without telling you? That's not the one we're looking for. Might do one more search to narrow it down. And again, I'm sorry you guys can't see the results menu, but it is what it is. It's basically just a bunch of numbers. We're trying to find values so we can put values that the game doesn't let you select in there and see what happens. So the wooden stake acts like the knife. It has an animation. It uses exactly one red jewel, but like nothing comes out. Like she just does her hand like this and nothing happens. Same for the rose. There's a rose sub-weapon. It uses 3 jewels, I think it was. So there is some coding there, but not enough to like damage an enemy or anything. My thought was that the stake was just an early version of the knife, and they changed it to a knife to be like older Castlevanias. Found it, okay. So there's 2 values here that are changing. Let's save state. Let's copy these 2. Welcome to finding codes, folks. Just tons and tons of digging around, swapping out values, seeing what happens. Probably scrapped it because it was too similar to the knife if I had to guess. My guess is that it was the knife. Like they were just like, hey, we're Castlevania 64, let's try something different. How about you throw a stake instead of a knife? And then at some point they're like, that's dumb. Like you're not going to throw a stake with such velocity to injure a vampire. Just put the knife back in. And so they're like, oh, okay. Let me add another window here. Yeah, so here's what I'm looking at that you guys can't see. So you see how that number is at 0? That's when I have Reinhardt selected on the menu here. And when I go over here to carry and I hit refresh, that's the only value that's changing. So I know that this address has something to do with the character select. Now I don't know because there's another value, which is here, doing the same thing. So what I don't know is this just like the graphic? Is it changing the character I'm about to be in memory? What is this actually changing? So that's when you just have to kind of experiment. Now a stake would throw with enough velocity to hurt a vampire, like the eaten stake. That is true. Castlevania 2 had a stake, but it was like It was almost like a key item rather than like a weapon item. Let's change this bad boy to 00 and see what happens. Okay, so changing this value forces Reinhardt to be selected. Neat. Yeah, so let me move this so you guys can see. I know you can't see that address thing. It's very small, but just trust me. So we're going to go poke memory. Right now it's set to 01. We're going to change it to 00 and see what happens. Look at that. It selected Reinhardt. So what happens if we set it to 02? Moved down there and crashed, I think. Yeah, I'm not willing to say after messing around with it that that's... It could be because it's trying to pick Collar down there or Cornell, but I don't know about that. LOL crashes. Game go boom. See if we can go back to our address. So let's try changing the second one this time, if there's two in a row there. So the first one definitely changes the cursor. The second one changes it, but it goes right back. Probably because that first one is overriding it, but I don't know. And it's just staying. Oh yeah, the code creation feature, that was so much fun back in the day, screwing around with that. And crash. I'm not sure how much fruit we're going to find messing around here on the file select screen to try to get the characters. Mess around with that. And crash. This is why I hate Project 64, the memory viewer, because it is so crash friendly. You do one wrong thing and the thing just crashes. It's pathetic how unstable it is. And like you can use like 1964 and Nemu and stuff like that, and it doesn't crash at all. See, that's an interesting cheat. The open all doors, gates, and no bosses is a very interesting cheat. I did deliver steak. I literally did.
In the midnight.
Yeah, the N64 emulation scene's kind of a mess. It has come a long way from where it was, though. A long way. Some nice real N64 slowdown emulation here. Oof. Cornell should attack us somewhere over here. Oh, except I turned off the boss's code, so he's not going to. It's okay. All that cheat does is set the bit flags to FF. Near was supposedly working on a really good N64 emulator, but then he suicided and just, I hope you don't mean he literally suicided. I hope it's just like he just gave up on it. It's interesting that there's collision back here, that you can walk on this. Can't go down there though. Oh, he literally committed suicide. Yeah, that is terrible. Oh, the B Super NES guy. Yeah, that is very sad. I did not know that. That is extremely sad. I hate to hear that. Not even Nintendo can create a good N64 emulator based on how terrible the official one was for the Switch. Watch me just float my way to the top. Yeah, that's so pathetic. It doesn't even support. Like, they've got the literal source code from the system and the documentation laying there, and they can't even write a proper emulator for it. N64 was always kind of wonky to do anything with, best I remember though. Despite being my favorite console of all time. So many, like, you know, I hate to say a video game, like, impacted my life, but so many life-impacting games that kind of set standards for how I think about games. Oh, I didn't know this had collision. That's interesting. What about the... Maybe if we go up top, we'll find Yoshi. This goes way up there, considering nobody could ever see this. Oh, it's a slope. Bye. Bye, Carrie. See you later. Nope. Yeah, I did not know you could actually touch that. I figured that would just be a non-solid object, but I knew these were solid. Moon jump code is so awkward. I need there's a code to remove kill floors. Let's see. I always forget that little piano piece plays there if you don't do anything on this screen. Yeah, but there's a code I'm trying to find that I found one time on an old laptop that basically removes kill floors in the game so that no matter how far you fall, it will not transition to the game over screen. And so that lets you see some hidden areas that are normally inaccessible because the kill zones are there. Unfortunately, I can't find it at the moment. It was like on some obscure cheat code list. I'd never actually seen that cheat before. But it's definitely a thing. It's funny how these Game Shark codes, you find like the same 5 cheats on like different websites, and they all have like the same spelling errors and stuff where people just went and like copied them directly. Like made no attempt to find their own codes or get permission or anything like that. Here's a lot of item codes for the Japanese version. Is there anything new here? Blue item box. A button configuration modifier. Permanently upgraded weapon. Go up hills. Press jump to delete all items in the area? Huh. At least there's some new stuff here. I'm going to have to go thumb through these. There's like some button configuration modifiers, character modifiers, moon jump, level modifiers. I'd love to talk to Croc, the guy who wrote the level modifier code. The cutscene modifier code written by Charizard and Macrox. Yeah, there's a ton of codes on this. I'm going to share this, and maybe there'll be something useful to somebody in there. It's very strange. Like, hey Robo, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Kill planes in this game are very strange. So like, the code that I found, and it'll take me off stream. I'll go and find it. But for example, what it would do is like, you know the river in the first stage, like if you touch the water carrier, whoever drowns, and it's like, ah. Well, if you use that turn off kill planes code, that never happens. You just fall through the river like it's not there, and you can walk around on the riverbed. It's really neat. And what you can also do is use it to like the, hold on, I'll go back to the stage select here. So this area versus this area right here, this is actually 4 towers. It's not just 2. My guess is that there was 1 tower for each of the original 4 characters. But if you, and I'll see if I can do it. I doubt I can without the kill plane code. We'll try to just slowly go down here and see. But there's an area down here that you can walk around in for some reason. Oh, okay, we did it. We can't go through water without the kill planes code, but we can do this. And like, there's this whole area down here that's Like, they bothered to render it and everything, but don't know why it has collision. And it's not like it's infinite either. I mean, you could just go over here and fall off. And they even bothered to texture this part. So, like, I don't think there's anything down here. We can go see. It's basically some sort of calculation based on the current area you're in, where you were when you started, how quickly you landed there, and how far you fell. Because, like, you can elevate yourself up too high, and sometimes that will kill you. Like, you can just moon jump into oblivion too fast, and you'll eventually just die without falling. Okay, yeah, we reached the bottom. But we can't move. We're just stuck. I can slowly rotate carry with it. That game doesn't know what to do because we're too far. Like, yeah, if I go up, whee. Can I not be killed now that I'm in this weird state? Yeah, there we go. It activated. Yeah, it's funky how it works. We're coming up on 11:30. Usually we go to 12, but I'm kind of running out of things that I can show you. I don't want to just keep you guys around for me just piddling around with codes. Is there anything else that anybody would like to see or try, or any general CV64 questions I can attempt to answer for any of you guys before we sign off for the night? Hope you guys that have stuck around, a lot of viewers in and out tonight, a lot of people watching, I greatly appreciate it. Now, what in the world is that window doing down there? That's amazing, actually. Let's remove that. Like I said, I'll keep messing with this offline, and Liquid Cat's working on some stuff. The best steak I ever had, so I don't like to spend money on steak unless somebody else is paying for it. So, like, when I travel for work a lot, the meals would be on the company, and so in those cases I would get a steak. And I wouldn't get just like crazy expensive steak, but I would get a decent steak if we were taken out to a steakhouse and told to get whatever we wanted. I would usually get filet mignon. And so there was a restaurant called Porterhouse way out in San Mateo, California. They have an excellent filet mignon. But there was another steak place in Memphis, Tennessee, of all places. I can't recall the name of it. Probably shouldn't say it anyway, just in case. But I went to a steak place in Memphis, Tennessee, got filet mignon. This was for an anniversary with the wife, so I was willing to spend a little bit more of my own money, you know, because it was a nice meal. Got filet mignon, and it had like a butter sauce on it. I got it done medium well because I'm too scared to get rare, but I don't want it well done either. So I got a medium well filet mignon, and they had put like a house butter sauce on top of it. That was the best steak I'd ever put in my mouth, hands down. Which is strange because it was with my own money. And usually it tastes better when it's company money, but... How about I tell you the values I found that modify the appearance of the camera view text? Alright, we can do that. Let's just... Here, we'll lower the frame rate to like 5. We'll go enter your code here. Camera. I put camera moid. I meant to put camera mod. Alright, what do I'm in action view. Do I need to change that address via the memory viewer? Let's see, let me load your save state. Here, let's go to the memory viewer. View memory address 8009BCF0. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, I'm in the debugger now. I'm not seeing anything change though when I change camera and hit refresh. Here, let me type that in. 800. Yeah, let me show you what I'm seeing so you can assist, because that's not working properly. Yeah. So am I doing this right here? You're talking about this OOCODE, all that, right? So that, for example, if I just change this to 1. Oh yeah, that did change. That put a little square around this here. Oh, so I can play with a black background around my action view. Is there a value there that changes? For example, if I wanted to get into boss view without fighting a boss, I could do it? I can't remember if we had 3 views by default. It seemed like there was only like normal and action. Oh, that's a shame. So the next one messes around with the palette a little bit. It's a shame all the text in this game is done with texture, so we can't go and edit it or look at it. Make some funny ROM hacks for the memes. Oh, I see. They're just cosmetic. I got you. I thought you meant like you had found something that messed with the value itself. Or the camera itself, rather. So if you dump all the textures with Rice's video plugin, 90% of the in-game text is in there. Like even the cutscene text, it's all like textures. I mean, there's some stuff that's like text, but most of it's textures, unfortunately. And I didn't even find any like unused in there either, which is a shame. I'm going to dump the memory if it'll let me without crashing. Or it could just fail. Typical. Oh, it crashed again. And with that one crash, I think I will call it for tonight. But do keep an eye out for future updates. I'll provide one more link to the CV64 speedrunning Discord. If you want to see progress on the randomizer and other stuff, you can come check that out. Also, be sure to hop in my Discord so you can tell me how awful my videos are and give me suggestions on how to make them suck less. Your opinions are always valued and appreciated. Appreciate everybody that stopped by tonight. Hope you guys are all having a great new year. Like I said, I do plan to get some more arcade game classics rolling over the next few streams, but Liquid Cat's work was just too cool to share, so I wanted to show the stake and a few other things and play around because I know how much you guys love CV64. Again, shout outs to Liquid Cat and thanks for the hard work put in with this game. But take care, guys. I'll see you for the next Monday night live stream. Look out for some more videos, including some game reviews coming up in the following days. Thanks so much.